Okay, it's paper time, Stephen.
It is paper
we
time.
love this bit, don't we? It is, and joining us to go through them is columnist and parliamentary sketch writer, Telegraph Madeleine Grant, and showbiz supremo Stephanie Tecci.
Morning, you two.
Morning.
Morning.
Should we have a look at various front pages and things, Madeleine, looking at Alexei Navalny?
Yes, that's right. So The Guardian and The Eye, both on the front page, lead with the story that hundreds of protesters, many of them Russian emigres, have gathered in cities around the world to pay tribute to Alexei Navalny, and often gathering outside Russian embassies. They've chanted slogans critical of Vladimir Putin and generally giving a strong sense of, you know, the global solidarity that all democracy lovers around the world must feel at a time like this.
Do you think we'll see something similar in London, Madeleine?
I'm sure we will. In fact, it's already happening. Yeah. But actually, what
difference does it make?
Yeah, that's the question. And I was about to say that there's already... Well, I think it means a lot to people in Russia who may feel emboldened, you know, courage calls to courage everywhere. Maybe they'll look and see that the world is standing with them. But the thing that that upsets me most is that there were, in the circumstances, extraordinarily brave people actually going to pay tribute in Russia, leaving tributes for Navalny. And it was reported that the Russian government has already started to arrest the people who turned up to mourn, or at least to disperse them from gathering in one place. So it gives you a sense of, you know, just the sheer level of censorship and authoritarianism.
OK.
Right.
Stephanie, let's have a look at something which is entirely different but utterly awful in The Guardian.
Yeah.
Valentine's cards.
Yeah, so...
Wait for this one.
Well, I'm trying to get my head round it and where I stand in terms of opinion, but a firm of funeral directors, they sent a Valentine's Day cards to residents of a care home. The families... The families have said, of course, it's horrible, it's an appalling stunt. They said, you know, some of them had to remove the cards before it actually got to their relatives because for some of them it was quite triggering for them missing their other halves. But also, if it was a chocolate company sending it, I think maybe they would have been a bit more open to it. But because it's a funeral directors... Yeah. It definitely hasn't gone down well. But surprisingly, some of the care home residents actually said they quite liked receiving the card.
What has the care home said about it? What's the reasoning they've given behind it?
They said they were thrilled to receive the cards. I think the funeral directors, they misjudged it, but...
Yeah, I mean, they've admitted it was misjudged.
It was misjudged. But the thing is, it then comes to think, you know, people in care homes, no one really thinks about them, you know? And when it comes to Valentine's Day, it is a day of love.
Well, yes, but it's all about advertising, isn't it? It's an advertising ploy. I mean, really, do you want to advertise to people, you plan ahead, use us? It's not really what you want, is it?
Not in a care home.
I just think it's quite interesting that the care home residents, many of them were thrilled by it. Yeah. I think sometimes... as you get older, you're dealing with mortality in a way that younger people are not, and actually often develop quite a dark sense of humour about these things, you know?
Flowers, chocolate, or an oak line. What would you write? Oak or a basket? What do you think of basket these days?
I don't know.
They've apologised for it. They said, we deeply regret any distress caused by the Valentine's cards.
Yes.
But then there is that question, I think, you know, for some people who are in care homes, they have kind of made peace.
Well, yes.
That they are dying, so that's why maybe some of them were thrilled.
I should think, you know, the relatives would probably get more upset, to be honest with you. My mum's
Everyone else around.
I know both my grandparents would have found it really funny, and they were always making reference to, you know, even when they were, you know, late 70s, so at least 12 more years on the planet, they were still making jokes about how, like, this is the last pair of shoes I will ever own and this kind of thing.
Yeah, well, look, it's
I quite admire that.
and look, that's healthy to it. It's just...
No, this was obviously
it's a bit distasteful.
This was tinted.
Can we have a look at a C-section for a gorilla, Madeleine, in the Star?
Yes, we can. And this is a story from Fort Worth, Texas, where a gorilla that was giving birth suffered a condition called preeclampsia, which is not uncommon in humans, but to be honest, I had no idea that animals could experience. And so they had to get a human gynecologist for humans to tend to the gorilla in her labour. and he said he was struck by how similar it was in many ways to a human labour. So I guess it's a point for Charles Darwin there.
Yeah.
Well, we're not that far removed, are we?
No, well, we've got 99% the same DNA, haven't we?
Yeah. Good
with
to
the
be
gorillas.
reminded of that.
So there you go. So this, I've tried. Have you got the name of the gorilla? No, I can't see it here.
I don't know if they have the name of the baby girl, but the mother gorilla was called Sekani.
Sekani, yeah.
Sekani.
A Western Lowland gorilla. Oh, good for that.
Oh.
Can I talk about this story, please? Stephanie, it's your story.
Yep.
Menopausal gift sets.
Yeah,
Talking about gifts, we've had Valentine's Day cards from funeral directors, and now we are having... What's this one about?
Menopausal gifts. It's from Avanti West Coast, the rail union. Basically, they've created a menopausal gift bag for women who are going through menopause, and it includes a fan, a tissue, a jelly baby, and these also have been slammed. Women have said it's demeaning and it's an insulting gimmick. The rail union has hit back and they said that was not their point of doing this. Actually, it was to support women, and it was actually made in-house by women who are going through menopause themselves. Look, at the moment in society, we're all having this big conversation about menopause, and it seems like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, but why do you have... It's like, it's so jumping on the woke wagon, isn't it? Saying, oh, we've got to acknowledge menopause and then we'll give you a little gift bag.
And just remind me, Stephanie, what the jelly baby was for?
The jelly baby was to make you feel sweet.
Oh,
in case
God.
you feel you need support.
Oh, my God.
You get support from a jelly baby.
Well, it's basically, they also say, in case you feel like biting the head off of someone. Because menopausal women can be a bit feisty, I think.
In that sense, I do find it demeaning, in that sense. Like, some women would like it, but then other women will find it quite controversial.
Give them a day off. That'll go down better.
That would be better.
It's a bit patronising, isn't it? I mean, imagine if they started giving out, like, gift bags to women, you know, that time of the month even. You know, here's this in case you have a bad mood. It's all a bit...
It's all a bit weird.
Stereotypical.
Madeline, Stephanie, we've got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed.
Talking of hot flushes, shall we find out what the weather's doing?
Oh.